G'day, my name's Ian and I'm going to talk to you today about some CNC basics. Right, pretty well completely different now to the way it used to be, where you used to have to set everything manual. These machines are just truly awesome. So our new machine, we've got an airbed. Airbed means that it creates a vacuum underneath it, and we also have air pressure pushing down on it, so we only have to have a small vacuum underneath, and the air pressure pushing down makes it impossible to move as long as everything's sealed up. So this line here represents the airbed, and on the top here we have a sacrificial sheet. So in our case at work we use a 12mm bit of MDF and it sucks through it. Okay, and that becomes the set level, the height that we go to. So when we get into our program and that, and we have to create, the first thing we have to do is create a plate, and the plate might be 2400 by 1200 and 18mm thick. Okay, so what that represents, what that tells me, that's a full sheet, which our machine will take easily, and it's 18mm thick. So up here, that's our 18mm here, and our height starts here. This is 0, and we work from, you know, we've set it at 18 and that, and if we want to cut in 6mm, so we're going to do an engrave and that, because it asks us when we set up this thing called the plate how thick it is, so it knows what that height of that sacrificial sheet, because I have to set that, and then the 18mm on top. So it allows me to do a whole range of things, and if I was cutting through, I'd set it at 18.2, so that it goes through the sheet and cleanly cuts, and then cuts slightly into that sacrificial board. The machine is smart enough to know not to cut through that sacrificial sheet. It's near impossible. It's not, it is possible, but you'd have to be really special. Right, so let's talk about a couple of little bits of basics with the machine. So just understanding, so if in the plate I draw a rectangle like so. Now I have the choice, you know, NRAP's just a drawing package basically, and then we're going to what we call toolpath it. Toolpath it means that what we're going to do with the cutter, because it used to be by default that the centre of the cutter came down on the line and we'd have to either move it over or move it in. Well, now we've got the choice, and we could say male cutter, a male offset, which means that the cutter is on the outside and it'll cut all the way around perfectly. That's the male version. If I set it and say that it's a female version, instead of the cutter coming down there, the cutter will come down here and it'll cut all the way around in here. Of course, you must bear in mind that the machine has limitations. It can't cut out a square corner inside, so it would leave a radius according to the size of the cutter. And once you understand that, you can do things around that if that's going to become a problem, or you have to clean it out by hand. Choice is yours. And then of course there's the engrave. And an engrave means that the cutter, the centre of the cutter, is coming down on the line. So they're the main ones, right? So male is going to cut it out, female is going to cut the inside of it out, and engrave is going to cut on the line. Remembering that the plate is just an arbitrary size of the board that you're going to use, but what's vital to understand is that you need to say how deep it is, because we know how high the sacrificial board is, and then we need to know to work it out from there. Anyway, they're just the basics to get you started. You need to understand those couple of points to fire this thing into life. Anyway, Enjoy.